PDubs Arcade Loft is ready to kick the tires and light the fires. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to PDubs Arcade Loft. Appreciate you hanging out upstairs with us. Got a special episode of the Loft Report Podcast with some potential teaser breaking news from AtGames right around the corner, right after this. That's right, guys. Possibly some teaser breaking news coming out of the AtGames camp happened yesterday, and it actually kind of flew under the radar. I didn't see as much traction on it. It definitely made me raise an eyebrow when I saw it. So we're going to dive into that here in just a second. But if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to PDubs Arcade Loft on YouTube, as well as the Loft Report Arcade and Gaming Podcast, where we are your number 2 source for arcade and gaming news. Is distributed on all the podcast listening platforms, Spotify, Google, Apple, iHeartRadio. We are everywhere, baby. Love it, love it, love it. Definitely want to keep these podcast episodes to 20 minutes or less. This one's probably going to be maybe 10 minutes at the most. It is Super Bowl Sunday after all, and P-Dubs has got a lot of things to do. That's right, I'm your host, good old P-Dubs, Patrick from the Loft. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but AtGames had apparently sent out some on their social media platforms, on their Instagram, on their official Facebook page, not on the fan pages, but on their official Facebook page and on the fan pages, as well as on their Twitter, they sent out this kind of interesting tweet where they said, hey guys, we are proud to announce that February is the official month of pinball. Is everyone else as excited as we are for a month-long pinball party? It's kind of interesting that they announced this because I'll tell you what, guys, unless I'm a complete moron jackass, and you can tell me if I am, well, then again, you probably will tell me that anyway. I've been Googling all day. I can't find anything about February being National Pinball Month. It sounds like a self-declaration, in my opinion, which makes me wonder, what are they up to? If you take a look at all the comment threads on their Facebook posts, on their Instagram posts, and on their Twitter posts, immediately fans were responding and saying, does this mean you're coming out with a pinball machine? And we got a bunch of nudge nudge winky faces from AtGames, which was very, very interesting to see. Like, are you just messing with us? Don't tease us about pinball, baby. Pinball's too important. And as you know, a lot of us, including myself, love pinball. I love pinball in all the forms I can get it, whether it's mechanical pinball, virtual pinball, digital pinball, pinball on the computer, pinball on, the Xbox, pinball on my phone. Love playing pinball. So the more ways I can play it, the better for me. And it gets me all excited. As you can imagine, and this is my thoughts on this particular podcast, AtGames. Let's take a look. Before we get into AtGames, let's talk, for instance, what do we know so far about the players in the 3/4 scale in-home digital pinball market. So real quick, we have Toy Shock, who has a digital pinball machine. It's a static machine. It's got Gottlieb license, and they're partnered with Farsight Studios, right? And unfortunately, as of right now, today, as far as we know, unless something secret's going on, they only have access to Gottlieb titles through Farsight Studios. However, we all know they and Arcade 1-Up, I'm sure, are trying to secure more licenses. You know the big name I speak of, but we're not going to mention it right here on this podcast. Now, excuse me. Now, Arcade 1-Up has partnered with Zen Studios, so we know that the Arcade 1-Up pinball machine is coming out later this year. And that's going to have your Zen Studios. It's going to be running Pinball FX3 from what they've shown us. And you're going to have access to some of the original Bally Williams games, as well as the Pinball FX Zen Studios games, all those games. So now, when you look at both the way those pinball machines are set up, here's what we know so far. We do know that the Toy Shock machine is a static machine. You get 12 games and that's it. And even so far as of the day of this recording, the next generation pinball machine that's going to have 2 screens on it, that's going to have 12 games on it, and that's it. That's all we know so far. So static machines. Now, Arcade 1-Up, it's always been their business model We want you to buy as many arcade machines as possible for your home. Their business model has not been a multi-cade experience. Their business model has always been, we're going to give you a machine. It's going to be a static machine that has anywhere from 2 to 4 games on it, and that's all you get. And of course, with the pinball machine, they've announced it's going to be Wi-Fi capable, and it's going to have firmware updates and things of that nature. And what's kind of cool is the NBA Jam cabinet is going to be Wi-Fi capable, so it can receive firmware updates as well as allow you to play with your friends. But that doesn't mean you're going to be able to download more games onto your NBA Jam cabinet, nor does that mean you're going to download more games onto your pinball machine. In fact, John D. himself has been on the Retro Buzz show. Make sure you tune into the Retro Buzz every Friday night on YouTube and the Tech Buzz networks. And he himself mentioned that, hey, it's never been our business model to give you the ability to download and add more games to your system. I mean, those were pretty much his words on the show about 3 weeks ago. Now, when CES happens, of course, some people took pictures of the box of the Arcade 1-Up pinball machine, and they shared them on the Facebook page. I would have loved to share that picture with you here on the screen, but unfortunately, I couldn't find it. It's somewhere buried in one of the Facebook fan page threads. I couldn't find it, but someone took a picture of the box, and the box that the Arcade 1-Up pinball machine comes in specifically had, hey, here's the features that come with this box. You know, it's Wi-Fi capable. It's got 10 games included, and it had a whole list, you know, haptic feedback and stuff. Now, it did say ability to download games was written on that box, and they posted that picture somewhere on the fan page. I just can't find it. If you can find it, somebody let me know. But keep in mind, too, even the box itself is just concept art at this point. And, you know, the Arcade 1-Up pinball machine, concept prototype pinball machine. And we're not going to see that in stores anytime soon. So, we have Toy Shock, we have Arcade 1-Up. Both of these companies are going to be delivering, and Toy Shock already has, static pinball machines, 10 to 12 games on them. You get what you get, and with some of them, you're going to have the ability to improve them if there's a bug in them, some of them not. And I'm assuming, too, Arcade 1-Up, because we're doing Pinball FX3, guys, what's another reason you want that machine to be internet capable? Because it's Pinball FX3. What is Pinball FX3? Online leaderboards. Log into your account. All the record and stat and upgrades and trophies. All of that stuff, which is part of the Pinball FX3 experience, I'm assuming you're going to have access to on the Arcade 1-Up pinball machine. And that's the reason why it's going to be internet capable. Not so you can download more games. If Arcade 1-Up gives us that ability, it would blow my mind, because that is not something that they've ever done before. It would be a big pivot in the way they run their business and their business model. So it would be very surprising to me, but then again, I would appreciate it, just like all of you. Hey, I have one pinball machine, I can add more games to it. That'd be kind of cool. Anywho, so moving on. So we have 2 static pinball machines. That's the news that we know as of today. Now, AtGames. So AtGames comes out with the AtGames Legends Ultimate. It's a connected arcade machine, the first in-home connected arcade machine. And AtGames has not been shy about giving us the ability to play our own games or access different platforms from their system. So the question is what does that mean if they do happen to come out with a pinball machine? Are we going to see the same thing? I would assume absolutely 100% yes. That is definitely the business model of AtGames, is we're going to give you one machine that does everything. So I'm assuming, and I'm kind of excited to see how they're going to pull this off. Are they going to give us a pinball machine that is, you know, connected so you can access Steam and play your own Steam games? That would be pretty cool, because if you think about it, I've already unlocked all these games on Steam. There's 90 some tables on there, I thought. I got to go look and double check. But there's a crap ton of tables, and if you can just log into your Steam on their pinball machine and play pinball and have access to all the tables, you don't have to buy, 10 different pinball machines to get all of them up and running in your home. So I think this is very, very interesting. So people are going to potentially be able to choose. Do I want to have a static machine, or do I want to have one machine that does it all? It's kind of the same question with Arcade 1-Up and AtGames Legends Ultimate. Do you want to have a static machine, or do you want to have and buy a bunch of them, or do you want to buy one machine that you can play thousands and thousands of games on? This is very, very interesting. Are they teasing us about a pinball machine? I'm kind of excited about it because I have no doubt in my mind, and I did this also during my CES prediction videos earlier on the channel. I said, hey, AtGames, I personally feel, is going to come out with a pinball machine. It's definitely a market you want to get in right now because it's hot. Toy Shock got in. Arcade 1-Up blew the roof off the world with their announcements. You know those Arcade 1-Up machines are going to sell like hotcakes. You know I'm going to buy them. And then, of course, how can you not blame AtGames for wanting to get into it if that's what they're teasing us? Because all the nudge, nudge, winky faces and the fact that it's pinball month, and throughout the month of February, I expect we're going to see more teasers. You never know what's going to happen. It's really exciting time in the 3/4 scale arcade world, and I absolutely love it. So I have no doubt by the end of 2020, we might potentially see in my arcade loft a Toy Shock pinball machine, an Arcade 1-Up pinball machine, and the AtGames Legends Ultimate pinball machine side by side by side. And that would be pretty friggin' cool because you don't have to just pick one. You don't have to be brand loyal. As long as you like the product and it gives you a great experience, by all means, buy them all. And that's what I've always done. I have my AtGames, I have my Arcade 1-Ups, I have my Toy Shock, and I enjoy playing with all of them. And it doesn't mean that I prefer one company over the other. You know who I support? I support the world of arcade gaming. That is who I support, and that is the products that these companies are giving to us. What if they gave you a pinball machine that you know for sure you can access Steam because you can do it today on the Legends Ultimate, which means you can play Pinball FX3, you can play the Pinball Arcade off of Steam. And then, of course, what if they had it where you have the ability to bring your own games? So whether you own your own pinball tables, legally, of course, right? And you had the ability to bring those and add those to that machine and either stream them or play them, would that interest you? Would you buy that product? I have a feeling that I would, because I would just love to have the ability to do those things. And if anyone's going to give us that ability, it's going to be AtGames. And also, let me guys know, are you guys going to pick up the Arcade 1-Up pinball machine? I know for sure I'm definitely going to get the Star Wars one. I've mentioned it before on my channel. It's a friggin' Star Wars pinball machine. You know damn well PDubs is going to buy it because I'm such a huge Star Wars fan. And then, of course, let me know what you think about Toy Shock. I already have the Generation 1 Toy Shock. The first 1,000 units have some issues with them. But from everything they've told us, in the coming months, when the next batch of units come out, the problems are going to be fixed. And then, of course, later on this year, they got a Generation 2 coming out that's got 2 screens, adjustable legs, pretty much mimicking a lot of the features that you're going to see on the Arcade 1-Up static machine. Don't know if it's going to be Wi-Fi. Don't know anything else, And also, too, they're researching accelerometers, haptic feedback, all that kind of stuff. We might see those on that machine as well. So, let me know. Are you going to get your Wave 1 Toy Shock machine when they come out in a couple of months and you know that the lag and delays are all gone? Or are you going to hold off until Wave 2 and get the little more enhanced machine? Now, so let me know. Or are you going to be a complete clown like me and end up getting all of them? That's what I'm going to do. Anyway, guys, that's the quick episode of the podcast today. Definitely check us out. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you check out the Loft Report Podcast. Make sure you follow it on your favorite podcast listening platforms. We'd greatly appreciate it. Let me know your comments. Let me know your feedback. Is AtGames teasing us? Are we going to get another pinball machine? And obviously with them, it's probably going to be a connected pinball machine, and you'll probably have the ability to bring your own games. Would that excite you? It frickin' excites me. So let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you soon. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Got some good stuff happening today, and of course, I'm picking the 49ers. I don't care about the Chiefs. I'm originally from Chicago. The Bears aren't there, so I'm just going to root for the 49ers today. Go 49ers. Have a good Super Bowl, guys. I'm out!